Okay, so if this works out, I'll upload this to YouTube, and then I think the YouTube videos are clearer and sharper than the Google Meets, but I'm not positive. Anyway, so this is 4.6, and we're talking about partial products again. And we did partial products a few weeks back. And so here's the problem. It's 1.7 times 1.5. This is what they're talking about here. 1.7 times 1.5. It says June walks 1.7 miles in 1 hour, and if she walks at that same rate for 1.5 miles, how far will she walk? Well, most of you probably, I'm not sure if most of you, but I would think most of you, you would just simply do 1.7 times 1.5. And so let's do that real quick here. 5 times 7 is 35. Put down the 5, carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. And then placeholder 0. 1 times 7 is 7, and 1 times 1 is 1. And so then we just simply add these up. 5 and 0 is 5. 7 and 8 is 15. Put down the 5, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. But we're not done just yet. Remember, there's 2 decimals. The decimals, Mr. Hannah, have to go all the way to the right. So there's 1 and there's 2. So we've had to move 2 places. Put your mask up. And then we start all the way to the right, and we move over 2 places. So the decimal ends up as 2.55. And look at that. When they do partial products, they also come up with 2.55. So this, what I just did, is kind of the standard way I think most people, probably most people, especially old people like me, that's how they do it. All right? And it's up to you guys, whatever way works the best for you. Let's look at how they did it in the partial products. All right? The first thing they did is 1 times 1. And they talk about that right here. And so 1 times 1 is 1. And then they actually kind of, it's hard to see it, but there's the answer right there, 1. And then they did 0.7 times 1, and that's in the blue. That's right there. And then they did 1 times 0.5, and that's in the orange right there, or the brown, depending on your eyeballs. And then finally 0.5 times 0.7 is 0.35. And then what did they do? They just added them all up. Okay? So that's how they do the partial products. Mr. Hannah, where's your book? Pull it out and open it. Okay. So, the convince me, it's pretty easy. It's just going to be 1.7 times 2.8. I'll let you guys figure that one out. So, Mr. Hannah, you could get out something to write, and you could actually be writing down some of these things, and that'll save you some more work later on. Number 1 says Carter is filling 6.5 ounce bottles with salsa. He's able to fill 7.5 bottles. How many ounces of salsa did he have? Well, it's just simply going to be 6.5 times 7.5. Then you're going to get your answer. It says draw an area model to show the partial products. You don't have to do that unless you want to. It's up to you. All right, number 2, 3, 4, and 5, it says estimate first. Now, I'm going to estimate all of these real quick. Well, I'll do 3 of the 4. So just watch this just for a moment. So 9.3, that's pretty close to 9. 4.1, that's close to 4. What's 4 times 9? 36. All right, that's an estimation. So you could write that down there, Mr. Hannah. Number 3. 3.2 is pretty close to 3, and 0.6 is pretty close to 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Number 4, 0.7 is close to 1. 1.9 is close to 2. 1 times 2 would be 2. These are all just estimations. That's just the first part. And then 12.6, that's closest to 13. And 0.2 actually is closest to 0. So I put a 0. Well, anything times 0, 0 times 13, what's that? 0. Okay. So there's the estimations done for you. And the only reason we'd estimate, if you ever felt the need to, is just to kind of check to see if your answer is right, if it's close to the estimation. That, of course, is assuming you did the estimation correctly. So I'm going to do the first one here. So 9.3 times 4.1. All right, so our estimation is 36. So we're just going to see if our answer comes kind of close to 36. So 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 9 is 9. Put down the placeholder 0 there. All right. 4 times 3 is 12. Put down the 2, carry the 1. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 1 more is 37. Now we just add those up. 0 and 3 is 3. 9 plus 2 is 11. Put down 1, carry the 1. 7 plus 1 is 8. And then 3. And so we have 2 decimals that we have to worry about. 1, 2. So now they're all the way to the right. Now we start all the way to the right and move over, what? 2 places. And there's our answer. 38.13. So I'm going to put that down right. Wait, which one was that? That was the first one. 38.13. There's my answer. Hey, that's pretty close to 36. So there you go. Let's look at the independent practice for a moment. It says find 7.5 times 1.8. You do not have to use partial products or draw an area model. And you can do this if you want to use partial products. This is what you would use right here, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And then 7 through 14. Again, it says estimate first. You don't have to. No need to. And then it says multiply using partial products. You don't have to unless you want to. It's up to you. Okay? And so just go ahead and do all those. Let me pick somebody online. Let's see here. Mr. Johnson. 7 through 14. Pick one of those and I'll do it.
11.
Number 11. 11 is 5.5 times 0.6. All right. So 6 and 5 is 30. Put down the 0, carry the 3. 6 and 5 is 30 again, plus 3 more is 33. And I'm done, because anything times 0 is 0. So now I just need to factor in the decimals. I have to move over 1 here, move over 1 here. That means I'm going to start on the far right and move over 2 places. So the answer is 3.3. Which number was that? That was
11.
Oh, thank you, 11. Okay, so 3.3. You could put a 0, but it doesn't change the value. It's still 3.3. Okay. All right, let's look at the next page, the last page. Number 15. These 15 and 16, I think the questions are kind of confusing the way they worded them. All right, so 15, it says the gravity of Venus is 0.35 times that of Jupiter. So there's Jupiter. They don't even list Venus, except for right here. And it says, what is the gravity of Venus in relation to Earth's gravity? Well, we don't know what Earth is, but it's all in relation to that. So the problem is simply this, 0.35 times 0.26. I'm sorry, 2.6. That's how you would solve that problem. Okay? Number 16, it says about how many times as great is Jupiter's relative surface gravity as Neptune's relative surface gravity. In other words, here's Neptune, here's Jupiter. Compare the two. How much bigger is Jupiter? Well, it does say about, so we're not looking for an exact answer. So you could just say about 2 times more. It's roughly twice as much. That's all they're looking for. Whenever you see about, they're not looking for an exact answer. Number 17, 1 quart is 2.1 pounds. There's 4 quarts in a gallon. How much does a gallon weigh? So what are we talking about here? 2.1 times 4. That's what they're looking for. Number 18. So Isaac bought 3 packages of nuts. He bought 1 package of peanuts that weighed 3.07 pounds. So 3.07 lb, that means pounds. And then it says he also bought 2 packages of pecans, one that weighed 1.46 and the other one 1.5. And it says, did the peanuts or the pecans weigh more? So now we got to add up the pecans. It's 1.46 and we're adding 1.5. I can put a 0 there, just kind of a placeholder. Then you're going to get an answer and you're going to compare it to the weight of the peanuts, because it says, did the pecans or peanuts weigh more? That's what they're asking you here. And then it says, how much more? How much more? So you're going to have to subtract one from the other. All right? Almost done here. Number 19. How does estimation help you place the decimal point in a product correctly? Estimation, it helps you see if your answer is reasonable or close. So if you estimated something as 200 and your answer is 2, that should tell you something's wrong. All right. Dimitri's tabletop is a whole number of square feet. So here's a tabletop. And area, if you guys remember, equals length times width. So if we multiplied that side by that side, and they had decimals, is there ever an area that would be a whole number? And the answer is yes. So let's see here. Yeah, let me help you out here. So if this was 6.4 and this was 2.5, what would the area be? Area would equal what? You'll have to answer that question. Okay, 6.4, 2.5. Okay, that's it. Let me stop the recording here.